The September 16th, 2019 meeting of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners will come to order. And welcome to all of you who are here with us and those who may not be in person. Thank you for joining us. Commissioner Evans has the invocation and the pledge this morning. Commissioner Evans? This afternoon. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have tonight here to lead us in prayer will be Cliffdale Site Pastor Riley Halliday. He officially joined the Manor staff in 2017 and after 11 years on active duty in the United States Air Force. While serving in a joint special operations environment, Riley married his best friend, started a family, and completed his bachelor's degree at Grace College of Divinity. Riley and his wife, Tasha, became Manor members in 2011 and quickly developed through the Manor Church growth track to lead serve team and small groups at the Ramsey Street site. And they were ultimately led into pastoral ministry at Ramsey and now at the Cliffdale site. Pastor Halliday and his wife Tasha have been married since 2007 and have 3 children, Amari, Kyrese, and Tiara, and a husky named Bucky. So please join us as Pastor Halliday leads us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which I would do.
Let us pray. Father, we're so thankful, one, that we get to call you that. We get to call you Father. We always want to approach you humbly, but you welcome us with open arms and you invite us in. So in response to who you are, in response to your goodness, we just want to thank you for your presence here in this meeting. We ask that a spirit of unity just surround this atmosphere as you lead us to decisions that you ultimately want our leadership to make, God. And over our commissioners, I just want to speak blessing. It is a priestly role to represent regions and groups of people. So God, the same words that Aaron spoke over, or that Moses spoke over Aaron, I pray that your face would shine upon them, that you be gracious to them, that you would lift your countenance upon them, and you would give them peace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor. No, I didn't tell him. I thought Candace had told him. Thank you for taking the time to put up Charles. We don't have any pictures.
Pastor, we need a photo, please.
Sir, this is my first time. Hopefully it's not your last, but you're way down too far. I don't know what the problem is. There you go. There you go. There you go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay, look up.
It doesn't look any better than when you were.
Okay, that's perfect.
I heard. I'm just gonna shut up. Please, right.
Do we have representatives of our boards here tonight? Any other elected officials? All right. Stand, please. And tell us your name.
I'm Betsy Small, and with the
Library trustees. Yes. She comes to a lot.
You got some help?
They didn't stand.
The chair of the Board of Health is here.
Yes.
Dr. McMahon?
I'm Dr. Cadet McMahon. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I'm with
Okay.
the Board of Health.
And the vice chair? You are? Okay. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. I'm going to call now the FCYC members to the podium. That's Day Efron and Ramey Mack. Day.
Good evening. How are you guys today?
Doing good.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Hello. My name is Dede Efon, and I am the chair of the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council.
Good evening. My name is Ramey Mack, and I'm the ninth grade liaison of the.
Wait a minute, who are you, baby?
Ramey Mack of the ninth. I am a ninth grade liaison of the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council. This is my first time being here, so I'm really excited.
All right.
So
Thank
we're
you.
excited to be here today. Thank you.
They're representing 71st and Massey Hill. Massey Hill. All right, thank you. We have one person, I believe, for the public comment period. Let me have the manager.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. As you know, the public comment period is an opportunity for the Board of Commissioners to hear concerns from the public. Each speaker will be allowed a total of 3 minutes, and we ask each speaker to give their name and address as they approach the lectern. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Our one speaker this evening is Mr. Willie William.
Okay, Mr. Williams, welcome.
Yes. Good evening.
Thank you.
First, my name is Willie Williams, 1165 Sand Hill Road. I'm president of the Community Awareness Alliance, and I emphasize awareness. Anything that's going wrong, need to go right, whatever, we own it. We notify the public, we talk to the public, we try to help correct things or add to what can help this city, this state, whatever. At this particular time, we're dealing with homelessness. That's what we're dealing with. And I have been in quite a few meetings. I'm gonna say this as blunt as I can because I'm not one person to sugarcoat anything. I've been in quite a few meetings. And at the beginning, I was kind of told that we're talking about getting a day center for the homeless. Every time I walk right up and down the street going to church, I'm crying because of somebody's child out there homeless. And I stopped and talked to the lady that being pushed around from one spot to the other in the wheelchair Sunday. And as she brought me to tears, she said that people are talking at her, nobody's talking to her. She told me no, she didn't want to be out there in the street like she's out. Very articulate woman, very smart. She didn't want to be out there. She said, but she can't get her head to reconcile with her heart to get her to do what's the right thing to do. So, but eventually, it will get together. She said people are coming by giving her what makes them feel good. A chicken dinner, a whole bunch of plates that makes her sick on the stomach to eat, to get it. She should thank everybody for what they're doing. Cumberland County, also the city came by, somebody came by and put her in a trailer. Nice ramp. Got inside, she couldn't even turn her wheelchair around. She came out of it. Somebody else, church, came by, made them feel good, gave her, put her in a house. Same thing, she have no legs. She couldn't turn around in that place. So she's back on the street, okay? She asked me for 2 or 3 things. I was intending to say something else, but she asked me for 5 things. She said, Mr., and she kept calling me Jesus. And I said, and then she started scaring me then. I'm a Christian, but nevertheless, I guess I was doing the God thing, I guess. She said, I need 5 things. Said, people talk to me, but they talk at me, but they never talk to me. She said, I need a bag of Kobe Jack cheese. I need a bag of ice. I need a case of water. I need a box of Cheezettes, and I need some classic potato chips for a snack. So I went and got it. Came back. She said that, I said, okay, she had a cooler. She said, Mr. said I drank a whole case of water yesterday. I said, well, you want me to put the water in the cooler? She said, no, put the water in this plastic bag. I put it in the plastic bag. She said, lay it on the side. Then she said, anyhow.
I want you to finish your thought,
Okay.
Mr. Williams.
And she said, well, give me the, I said, well, what you want me to do, ice, put in the cooler? She said, no. put the ice in a plastic bag and lay it in my lap. I said, well, what you want me to do with the cheese? She said the cheese helped soothe my nerve endings because they took both of my legs off. And that's the only thing that soothed me inside is that Kobe Jack cheese. She was sitting there and she said, I don't understand. I want a house more than anybody. Anybody. She said, but I can't get my head and things in my head to get together to make me get off this street. Said, but I will come off this street eventually. Okay. And I sat there and I cried all the way home. I can't sleep at night. This happened 2 Sundays ago. I can't sleep at night because it's on me, it's on me, it's on me, it's on me because they're pushing this lady around for one and nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. Now, I've been in a lot of meetings, quite a few meetings, when they're talking about this this day center. And all these meetings that I've been in from the beginning, I was upbeat because I felt like something happened. Now I'm getting to the end, I'm getting the feeling, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. That's the feeling I'm getting. And she said, don't talk at us, talk to us, find out what we need. And so I'm asking you, please try to do something to get something started for these people. If I had the money, I'd pay for it myself. Because until these people, you gotta have something for somebody to go to before you can run them somewhere. Now everybody, all these homeless people are being pushed down there around B Street, down there with prostitutes and whatever. So I want somebody to please reconsider and help the city on this homeless thing, please.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your comments.
I just have a word. There may be somebody in the audience back there in the back, if you will stand up, that shaking your head, that probably knows as much about this as anybody. Would you please introduce yourself in a minute to this gentleman and have a little conversation about this, and maybe you could shed some light in terms of what the Department of Social Services has done, not only for this situation, but similar situations. Thank you.
Yes. I know we've done quite a bit. So, thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda?
I have one correction, Madam Chair, please. On item 2F, the amount stated in the memo is stated as $65,000. There's a typo. It should actually be $65,900. All the supporting documentation shows $65,900. It's just the face of the memo that has the incorrect amount. I have no other changes.
Move to approve the agenda. Second.
All right. It has been moved to approve the agenda. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move to
Thank
approve the consent agenda with the stipulation that the county manager said.
Second.
All right. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Item number 3, Madam Chair, are our public hearings. This evening, we do not have any rezoning cases for the board to consider, so we'll move to item 3B. 3B is a public hearing for the approval of a resolution and submission of the fiscal year 2021 North Carolina Department of Transportation grants. And I'll ask Mr. Joel Strickland to come forward and provide some background information, and then I'll ask the board to open a public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening. It is time again for the Community Transportation Program to submit their grants for what will be fiscal year 21. So we come before you tonight requesting your approval for us to submit the grants. Again, there's a list of the grants listed there. The 5311 grant is the administrative grant. 5310 and 5307 are capital funds, which actually support transportation services. And then the ROPE funds, which include the EdTap, the employment, and the rural general public, which is RGP funds, also all go to provide transportation services. As you can see there, this is a total of $840,000 or $840,708. The local match on that would be $70,317. And just to give you a comparison of last year, the total budget last year was $836,771. There's been a slight increase in the amount of administrative funds that DOT is offering the county this year. So it leads to approximately an increase of $591 in local match funds for the year.
I just want to make sure I'm clear, 'cause you said 21. This is 20 to 21. This is July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021.
Correct, that's right.
I just want to make sure, because you said 21, but this is 20 to 21.
That's right, fiscal year 21. Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you. Are there questions? If not, I'm going to open the public hearing.
There are no speakers.
There are no speakers. I'll close the public hearing. Mr. Adams?
Madam Chair, I would move that we approve the program resolution and submission of the FY 2021 projects for community transportation, program 5311, 5310, 5307, and ROPE, grant applications to the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
I second that motion. You've heard the motion. Are there questions? If not, I'll call on you for the vote. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 3C is a public hearing on the Community Development Program Year 2018 Draft Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, better known as the CAPER. Ms. D. Taylor.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair and County Commissioners. It is that time of the year where Community Development prepares and submits its Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, better known as the CAPER. It is for the reporting period beginning July 1 of 2018 through June 30th of 2019. And so, as you know, every 5 years we prepare the consolidated plan, which is the 5-year strategic plan that outlines the goals, the priority needs, and objectives for that period. And within each of those years, we submit 2 mandated reports to HUD. One is the annual action plan, which identifies the activities that we plan to undertake and the resources we plan to use for that year. And then at the end of the program year, we submit our CAPER. And so for the CAPER that you have before you, the draft copy, that is for the 4th year of that 5-year strategic plan process. Now, the main priority needs that we address, that we plan to address during this 5-year period is expanding affordable housing, addressing homelessness, and expanding public services and public facilities. And so that is what we use our entitlement dollars that we receive from HUD, which is the Community Development Block Grant and the Home Investment Partnership Program. And so for the reporting period, Community Development expended approximately 30% of its CDBG funds towards the housing rehab program for homeowners. In addition, we expended 26% of those funds for housing project delivery, which covers staff costs that are used to carry out the activities of the housing rehab projects. 14% went towards general admin, 20% for public facilities, and 10% for public services. Our home dollars are used specifically for carrying out housing activities. So majority of our funds were used for housing rehab activities, which is 69%. 26% went towards new construction of housing units through partnership with our community housing development organization, and 5% for general admin. And so I wanted to highlight one of our main programs, which is the housing rehab program. We used a combination of CDBG and home funds in the amount of $427,444 to rehab 21 housing units. This particular home that you see before you, we used the funds to actually make it ADA compliant. So we used the funds to add a wheelchair ramp and repair the roofing and add vinyl siding. We also rehab the kitchen to make it ADA compliant. And we widened the doorways and also installed a roll-in shower and added ADA grab bars. Again, all to make this home ADA compliant for the occupants of the home. And that's just to give you an idea of the type of work that we do, but I also wanted to give you just a description of some of the characteristics of the homeowners that we serve. And so the age range of our beneficiaries, as you can see, majority of them are, well, at least over half of our beneficiaries are 62 and over. And so that means that majority of them do have a fixed income. And 100%, of course, of our beneficiaries are low to moderate income, with majority of them, with 14% that are considered extremely low income in accordance to HUD guidelines. At least 57% fall in what we consider low income category, and then 29% falls in the category of moderate income. So as it relates to the property characteristics itself, at least 57% of the homes that we work on are at least 40 years or older. And at least 33% of the homes that we work on are at least 20 years or older. So these are very old homes that are in need of substantial repairs. In addition to addressing housing-related activities, we also use our funds to improve access to public services. We continue our efforts in partnering with nonprofit organizations such as Better Health and Cumberland County Medication Access Programs to continue providing prescription medication and dental extraction services to low to moderate income persons. And during the reporting period, we served over 2,000 households, expending $67,398. We also partner in our efforts to improve access to public facilities. We partner with the Fayetteville Metropolitan Housing Authority and provided $100,000 to go towards the demolition of the Groveview Terrace apartments so that they can use their other funding resources to construct new units, and that would bring the units up to 270 multifamily units. And they plan to call this multifamily housing complex Cross Creek Point. We also continue to renovate our Robbins Meadow Transitional Housing Program. We phased this project throughout the year and just basically renovated 3 units at a time. And during the reporting period, we renovated the last 3 units. And what you see before you, the pictures are the interior of the Robbins Meadow units. And we expended $67,863 for that. We continue to receive Continuum of Care program funding through HUD to provide transitional housing and permanent supportive housing for homeless individuals and families. And we expended a combination of $124,801 to provide that housing and supportive services that they need. And so while we're on the topic of homelessness, I wanted to just give you a brief update on the Homeless Initiative Funds supported by the city and the county through an interlocal agreement. And the whole purpose of the Homeless Initiative Fund was to address 3 main areas, and that was to provide support, to provide funds to go towards the costs for managing the homeless management information system. Now, this is a database that is mandated by HUD to be used by local agencies who receive COC-funded programs and emergency solutions grant through the state and through HUD. So they are mandated to use this system, but they did not have the funding to pay for the cost to use the system. And so this funding helps support using that system. So we have approximately 9 agencies that use this system for 15 of the programs that used to track client data, housing, and services for persons experiencing homelessness. The funds are also used to fund a data and evaluation analyst position. That position, that person is responsible for ensuring that we have clean data in our community. And also, they're responsible for training the end users of the HMIS system and prepare and submit mandated reports to HUD. And what HUD does is use these reports to basically evaluate our performance, our community's performance in addressing homelessness. So they use these reports to look at the length of time a person remains homeless, how many times a person becomes homeless, how many become homeless for the first time, and what are we doing to help increase the employment and income growth in our community. So this system is very vital to ensuring that we can continue to receive the federal funds in our community. And then last but not least, we use the Homeless Initiative funds to address the gaps in services in our community. Normally, in our community, we have agencies that implement rapid rehousing homeless prevention programs. This is a rental assistance programs. But unfortunately, in the last couple of years, we had no agencies implementing these programs. So Homeless Initiative funds were used to provide that assistance to those experiencing homelessness or who are at risk of homelessness. And so in June of 2018, we contracted with Family Endeavors to provide these type of services for those in the community who are experiencing homelessness. And they started the program, the contract is from June 1st, 2018 through June 30th of 2020. However, they have already expended all of the funds as of June 30th of this year. And through that funding, they served 158 households or 369 individuals, providing rental payments in the amount of $121,943, followed by utility deposits, utility payments, security deposit, transportation. Up to 10% were used for case management, and up to 5% they were allowed to use towards administration. And I asked Family Endeavors what type of challenges did they face in implementing this program and how we can help improve the services in our community. And one of the things, the most common things, of course, is case management. You got to have case management. They did have case management, but at times the volume, the workload got pretty heavy to where they needed additional staff to help with obtaining and doing follow-ups on the clients and ensuring that they follow through with their plan. Another challenge was, so you have two different households type of households that you're serving through this type of program. You have those who are already in a unit, but they're facing eviction. And then you have that household who's not in a unit, but they need to be placed in permanent housing. Those households, when they come to programs like this to seek assistance, they need housing immediately. And while they're waiting on a unit to become available, they don't have anywhere else to go. They don't have funds for a hotel stay. So unless the agency is able to negotiate with the landlord to where the client can move in immediately, and while the paperwork is being processed, they have nowhere else to go. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge was we didn't allow them to use, we allowed them to use the funds for transportation, but that was for bus passes, but it didn't address car repairs. So they asked if we can use the funds to go towards car repairs. Now, I know in our HUD-funded program, Robbins Meadow, we do use our federal funds to go towards car repairs, but it usually cover costs only up to 10% of the Blue Book value. So we can mimic that program if we think about, putting funds towards that type of activity. And of course, another challenge is just some participants had a hard time maintaining due to their income level. And so, in addition to partnering with Family Endeavors, we also accepted referrals from other programs such as Action Pathways through their reentry program. And these programs like this help erase that stigma that many of the participants have when trying to find employment and housing coming through this reentry program. So I just wanted to share just a story on this gentleman here, Mr. Marcus, who came through the reentry program, I guess, several months ago. He had no place to stay for he and his family, and the funds were used to help pay for the security deposit, 1 month rental, and utility deposit. He was able to get a job on his own, and I just spoke with him recently, and he was promoted to a managerial position. Speaking with this gentleman, he just sounds so remarkable. He's just so focused on being successful, and I really feel that he's going to be one of those that really maintains housing for a long period and just be successful. Like, so I just wanted to share that story. So that picture was made possible by Action Pathways. Okay. And so that concludes my presentation. The paper was distributed to several locations and for a comment period of 15 days. And so tonight we just asked the board to hold a public hearing to allow for public comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I have 2 commissioners. Adams?
Yeah, I just have a because all of this just kind of confuses me, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Not that.
Okay.
Just trying to figure out the source of these funds, because some of the community development funds can only be done in the unincorporated areas. These capers, I guess, can be used wherever throughout the whole county?
Yes, so the funding source, the geographic service area will depend on the funding source. Right. So for our CDBG home funds, normally we serve the county jurisdiction, with the exception of if it's a program such as, like, for instance, Better Health, CCMAP, if they open their services to the entire county, then we can provide funding to that agency, as long as they're opening their funding to the entire county.
Okay. So, for instance, and it just gives me some concern, because when they tore down Groveview Terrace, I had a conversation with them as to whether they would hold 3 rooms or 3 of the apartments or 5 for transitional housing for individuals in the county, and they tell me no, but we turn around and give them $100,000. I just have, it's kind of hard for me to be able to understand that connection. We just give it to them with no strings attached, no nothing. We getting.
Well, initially we did have that conversation with them. They have been actually accepting applications from our transitional housing. We just wanted it in writing, I guess, initially, but they do accept clients. They have been accepting them in their program.
But they got like a 2-year waiting list on. So where are we? So I'm sitting here getting $100,000. Are we at the bottom of that waiting list so that we 2 years down on this? I mean, the city has these same funds and that they can use over at Groveview Terrace and all of that. And I don't know how much they use. But it seems to me that somewhere in here, as we talk about this homelessness issue in the county and all of this, is that they can't just 2 or 3 out of these have transitional housing for the county. I would just ask that the next time we have that conversation with them, because I just have a problem with that.
I agree.
Yes, sir. And that's something that I've had conversations, Dee and I have had conversations with. It is not uncommon in communities across the state to have those set aside.
Been to enough conferences.
Yes, sir. And so that is something that we will start requiring for any appropriation of funds.
Because I don't think they did it at the Hope. I don't think there's any transitional there for the county or from here. And so I just think it's something that we ought to require as we give away those funds.
I agree.
Thank you, Ms. Holden.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Booth?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. First of all, Glenn's exactly right, and I think we do need to get it in writing. And we're spending county funds on something that we you know, we're just giving away with no accountability for it. I mean, what if HUD does ask us where that went? We go, we just chipped in a little Christmas gift to the city. I mean, I think it has to be in there with some sort of clarity and specification. So I'm glad you're gonna have you said you'll require it next time or mandate it. I think that's the proper way to go. I just have a couple questions. Do you know ballpark, these houses are 20, 30, 40 years old that you're refurbishing? And at $20,000 for the refurb, that's a great price to get a house from not habitable to habitable. But is the fair market value then just $20,000, or is it actually increased? I mean, you know, are we taking just shells, or are they not habitable, or are they habitable and they're being upgraded?
Yes, so we're taking them and we're bringing them up to standard. So every house has a different need.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And are they owned by the county, the
No.
people that we're helping?
They're
Individuals,
they're owner
corporations?
occupied. They're
Owner occupied.
Mhm.
Excellent. All right. And you said there were 9 agencies involved in the homeless initiative funds?
No, that are using the homeless management information system, the database.
Okay. Is there a fee to do that, or is it just open to everybody?
No, that's
or-
what the funds are being used to cover the fees for these agencies.
Okay. How are those, can you get me, you don't have to do it now, just send me a list of who those agencies
Okay,
are?
yes,
Okay, that'd be great. And you said that we had to do this because HUD's evaluation comes back on us to see, they review us, and how long have they been doing that?
Oh, since the inception of the program, the
Which is-
homeless, we're going back to 90s, I mean, yeah, when these programs were created.
Okay, where are those evaluations or the reports that tell us how efficient and effective and everything we are?
They're on the HUD's website, or I can also send
Send
those
that to-
copies to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. We need to open the public hearing on the fiscal year 2018 CAPER. Is that right? Okay.
Program year 2018. yes.
All right, program year 2018. All right, thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Are there speakers?
There are no speakers.
There are no speakers, therefore I'll close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you.
And you have already received comments from us, okay? Thank you. Nominations. Item 5. Board of Adjustment, Mr. Adams.
For the Board of Adjustment, I would nominate Linda Amos, A-M-O-S.
All right, thank you. Are there other nominations? If not, Mr. Vice Chair, we'll go to you for appointments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are an equal number of nominations for the vacancies. And at this time, I would move to appoint Commissioner Jeanette Council to the Southeastern Economic Development Commission.
Second.
Is there a second?
I did.
We got a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I have the students, please? Day and Ramey. We're going into closed session, so we'll have a comment from you now, please.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you for having us. This is actually, oh, sorry. Once again, thank you for having us. This was actually an entertaining meeting. Most of the time when I do come, it's a lot to do with rezoning. So this was a little bit different, learning more about what we're doing for our homeless community. So that was amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was very interesting. You know, all the slideshows and seeing what they're doing for the homeless is amazing. So thank you for having us.
Thank you. Ramey, you're a freshman, so we'll expect to see you for several years.
Is it personnel?
Okay. Thank you.
Are they leaving?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Was it what you thought it was going to be? This is an easy meeting. Come on. Shake hands, baby. Come on back for a picture. Tighten up, guys.
This way a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. That's great. 1, 2, 3.
Come on up and take some pictures. You can get a little closer. Yeah. I don't look good from a distance, so I gotta get close.
Come on, take your picture.
Block away.
I'm not even.
You leave it alone. Leave it alone. I see y'all taking the picture.
Who's the young lady? Oh, I just asked you who was the young lady. Trying to get your feet.
Okay.
Your best foot forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Young lady, I have a word to say before we go into closed session.
Pardon me?
Could I have a comment to make before you go into closed session?
Our comment period is held at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, we was parked on the front of it, so, and then I had the 2 kids, so I really had to walk around, and I'm very sorry about that.
I'm very sorry, but at
Okay.
this point, that will be not in order.
Okay.
All right. Would I have staff members? I need a motion. We're going
We'll
into
go into
closed
closed
session.
session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A6, discuss a personnel matter.
Personnel matters.
Matters.
Those in favor?
Unanimous.
All right, thank you. We're now in closed session.
Well, a whole lot.
The court said that it was Bill's district, so if you do Bill's district, you're gonna change the other district.
Lord, maybe something.
I need a quorum, I have
The
a
Senate just
quorum.
hadn't started
All right,
yet.
we're coming out of closed session.
Second.
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 Those in favor?
Unanimous,
Move to adjourn.
Second. Those in favor?
unanimous.
Unanimous.
Come on, man.